episode of Well-Adjusted Mama. I'm your host, Dr. Laura Brayton, and today's guest is Jenni Glad, speaking on the topic of mindful parenting. Jenni Glad is a certified life and mindfulness coach, Reiki master, yoga and meditation teacher, and a writer who originates from Finland and is now living and running her business in New York. She's been practicing yoga and meditation for 14 years, and she has studied spiritual sciences widely. All this has been very important in helping her to find long-searched-for answers in happiness in her own life. She specializes in transformational coaching and mindfulness, helping people to change their mindset, their patterns, their habits, and shift forward due to growth and awareness. Jenni's mission is to encourage others to live life to the fullest in their individual terms. When we make our choices consciously in the present moment, we start creating the happy life we want to live. Check out her website at jenniglad.com and join her free live meditation class on Mondays at Facebook, facebook.com/GladJenni. Hi, Jenni. Welcome to the call. I'm very excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and talk about my favorite topic.
Yes, your favorite topic regarding mindfulness. And, you know, for the audience of Well-Adjusted Mama, we wanted to gear the mindfulness topic specifically around parenting. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And I wanted to give a little backstory for our audience listeners about how you and I met. I personally have known Jenni for almost 2 years now. We met in Bali at a writer's retreat, and we were both there writing our books. And I'm just very happy to say that we've been able to stay in touch and connected. And since that retreat, you relocated from Finland to New York City, so you're much easier for me to visit at this point.
Yeah.
And we can keep in touch. And as last time we were together hanging out, we were talking about this topic of mindfulness and meditation and life coaching that you do with your clients. And you offer to do an event for patients and people living locally in the Hoboken area. And as we were talking about that, we're like, okay, let's get you on Well-Adjusted Mama podcast and let's share this subject with parents all over the world because it is such an important topic. So I'm just so happy to have you here talking about it. And I'd love for you to start off with sharing with our audience a little bit about your personal story of how you got into being a mindfulness expert.
Sounds good. And my personal story, I have to put this long story short, but it's just like kind of happened by an accident through my own life experiences. And I was lucky to find my full purpose and my passion, and which is all the work I do and actually how I live. It's my lifestyle. My work is my lifestyle. Mindfulness and meditation is part of my own life, and it's kind of my identity. And I love to talk about that all the time to everybody because I want to see the change happening here. So I'm always like ready to talk about my passions and see how people can really change their life through mindful living. And my own path on mindfulness and actually mindful living, I always talk about mindful living more likely than mindfulness, like how to really create new things and achieve our desires and dreams through mindful living. And it all started from my own need to start searching for kind of a real and deep happiness and the feeling of contentment, and which I didn't know by that time. I was in a place that I was not happy anymore in my corporate career. I did like 12, 14 years. I was working for international IT and digital marketing industry in Europe and a little bit in US as well, while I was living in Finland and traveling all over the world. And slowly but surely, like my kind of inner struggle grew. And I didn't feel well and happy anymore. And I struggled with my health and really wellness. And I was working a lot, and I kind of believed that that's the way to live my life. And I believed that when I had done my choices, I had to follow the path that I have chosen to walk. And I believe that think there was a kind of a believing somewhere in me that there must be something more meaningful in life, and I didn't know what it would be. How would I find it, and how would I do all the changes that I somehow craved? And I resisted a lot. So as the change was really scary, and I kind of had sense that I should change my whole life in order to feel free. And I thought I was in a trap at my work, even though I had like a great career, I was making good money, but I still lacked the feeling of freedom and using my creativity, and I really wanted to work for myself. But I had been living in this kind of corporate box for a while already, so it was not easy to start changing that. So I let my fears hold me back for quite a while, and I wanted to stay on my comfort zone, and things started to happen suddenly. Slowly but suddenly, things started to happen in my own life, and it was not a choice to choose all those experiences. So in my early 30s, in just a couple of years, I faced huge obstacles. I went through a burnout and had continuous physical illnesses like allergies and weird accidents, and all kind of incidents happened in just a couple of years, and that was really challenging time in my life. But now when I think about it later, and now when I see myself in my early 30s, almost 10 years later, I see that those were a big wake-up call for me. And they were all leading me forward towards the direction that I really was kind of willing to walk, but I didn't know how. So all this helped me to grow spiritually, and I started meditating on a daily basis by that time. And even though I had done yoga for a while already by that time, I didn't have a meditation practice. And I started meditating on a daily basis, and I felt like I need to do something that I feel better. I need to heal myself. I need to connect with myself, because I didn't recognize my emotions anymore. Mm-hmm. So I felt like meditation was helping me, and when I did that every day, I started to create a new kind of a balance in my life, and feeling what is going on inside me, and really started to heal myself mentally, but also physically. I started to feel so much better in my body, and even my allergies, I got rid of some allergies, and I started to feel better, I didn't have all those conscious respiratory infections that I had before. But it also opened me up for a new path, and I started studying life coaching and yoga and spiritual sciences, and I got certified in yoga and life coaching, and started to change my life and my career in a new way. And I really wanted to help people, so that was my calling. And today meditation is part of my life, and it's really a natural part of my own life. I do that every day. I start my mornings with the meditation and writing and journaling a little bit to see where I want to go and what's happening, how I feel. And it's very grounding practice for me. And this is what I always quite often share with my clients and with my people and my meditation classes, and it's it's a way of living. And it was a huge moment for me when I really realized the power of the present moment. So that was the big thing. And when accepting it, what is happening in the here and now, and myself in that moment, or in this moment, actually when we speak, this is our reality. And this is everything what is happening in our life now. And we can choose our kind of emotions and feelings. And when we are more aware what is happening in the here and now, we can make better choices that makes us happier. Mm-hmm. And when people really get this, all this, what does it mean to be conscious and be present? I witness this at my work all the time. Everything changes in their life, and it's a key to real happiness. So change really comes from the inside out, and happiness comes from the inside out. And meditation and mindfulness is a great way to practice that, being present and enjoy the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And, I mean, it's not an unusual story for people to have to go through a lot of pain and heartbreak and really challenging life experiences to then create that shift within themselves and come out on the other side happier, more joyful, more on purpose, and more clear on what you want to create for yourself. And I think that's so valuable that you were able to see the lesson and the gift in those painful experiences that you went through, because they were necessary to get you to where you're at today.
Yeah. It's like you're saying it the right way. It was necessary for me because I was probably so stubborn. I would have never had the courage to make those choices consciously. But I mean,
that's the human experience, We move towards pleasure and away from pain. So when we're in a place that's comfortable, it may not be the most pleasurable, most optimal alignment for where we want to go, but at least it's not horribly painful. And then when things do get horribly painful, it can be enough energy shift there for us to, like you said, to make a different choice, which is scary at the time because it is unfamiliar, and change can be hard for all of us. But I mean, it is so wonderful to have that opportunity to choose differently, and then you can see on the other side why that choice was so helpful and valuable.
Yeah, that's so true. And, making changes like taking those baby steps and not making changes like huge changes at once, because that's not even possible. But you have to start making the changes in those moments and in your daily routines, and check out your habits and behavior and your thoughts and what is really causing the struggle. And then when you are aware of all these, you can start making the shift and choosing right things for you. Because quite often what I see with my clients, they want to do a big change in just a couple of weeks or just a couple of months, and it's not possible. You have to grow to that change. And it's about personal growth a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And that's a good point that you're making, that in general, we, massive change rarely happens, right? Like overnight. It's almost always very subtle, because it's just it's multiple small little choices and decisions that we make throughout our day-to-day life that would then lead us to a different place. But it's not like usually a big one. It's not like, most people don't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to quit my job and do something else.
Yeah. No. I always say make a plan how you're going to shift your journey, and it's not going to happen overnight. So it's easier to do changes when you are being aware and more balanced, in a kind of a right place, than life is basically forcing you to make the changes. And that's, I had to go it through a little bit harsh way. So I was in that place that I couldn't continue anymore, the work I was doing and the lifestyle I was living, and I was like, no, I have to change and start living for myself. And I really challenged myself to see and do all those things, like healing things and personal growth things, to see if it's even possible to be happy every day. And that was my goal and little project when I started to do changes. And a couple of years after that, I just noticed one day, oh my God, I feel so happy every day. It doesn't mean that you're happy all the time, but there's a feeling of happiness and that positive flow that you can create. And when you kind of start attracting more nice things, and when you start seeing your days from different perspectives and the daily events and experience. So that's just it's an interesting mind shift and mindset and attitude, and that changes a lot.
Right. So, yeah, that's really good that you pointed that out. And I know as you were sharing your story, you gave us a little bit of a glimpse about what mindfulness, a mindful practice looks like and lifestyle. But can you maybe go into a little bit more detail about what mindfulness is, and as well as how that's incorporated with meditation and also the work that you do as a life coach?
Sure. I think that there's a lot of different kind of options and kind of assumptions, like what is mindfulness, and some people even think that that's a special thing or something that it's kind of like an external tool that you need to practice a lot to be able to understand it. And of course, like mindfulness and meditation, mindful living, they all kind of skills that you can develop, but we all have that skill to be present. That's how we are born, and that's how we are, really experiencing life when we are having most fun. But mindfulness it's kind of a way of being. That's how I put it, and it's about like paying consciously attention and being aware of the present moment, and especially being aware what is happening inside us, our inner world. And I'm talking about the thoughts and emotions and the feelings in the body and feelings in the mind and thoughts in the mind as they are, and sort of observing and seeing what is happening in that present moment without judgment and accepting it all. Because when we do accept what is happening in this moment, we can really realize and release and let go of those thoughts and kind of shift our journey for the future, like what's happening next. And it's a way of creating our reality. When you're being mindful and when you're being aware of all this in the moment, you can really start connecting with yourself and with your intentions, and especially with your intuition, that I call it's our GPS system that is guiding for us to the right direction that makes us happy. And mindfulness and mindful living helps us to hear and listen to ourselves and our needs better, and which again helps managing the chaos and the busyness and that all that stress that we all are going through sometimes. It all becomes easier to manage and get over the obstacles and all that busyness that kind of or stress that takes us far away from that inner connection. Like many people are living on an autopilot, as we know, and they lose this connection with their emotions, with their intuition, and they lose the connection with their feelings, and they don't have an ability to sense what's going on right now. And people are often living in the future, and people are often living in the past, and then it's really difficult to connect anymore. And mindfulness and mindful living helps us to connect and create the connection back that many of us have lost along the way. So I see that mindfulness, or actually I would say when people are stressed out for a long time and they feel numb and bored and overwhelmed and very, very stressed out all the time with all the busyness, and especially when we think about parents, they had to achieve a lot, they had to follow the schedules, they had to do a lot all the time, and they can start feeling that they are living on the autopilot and they don't have time for themselves, and they don't need to even think about what's happening because they just have to go from the task to task every day. So they can feel that they have lost the control, and they struggle in their life. And mindfulness and actually meditation helps people to create balance and kind of manage all that busyness and stress. And meditation is a way to practicing mindfulness. And meditation is basically, very simply, it's conscious breathing. And when you set up a time to do a little meditation every day, And it's like on that moment, it's like you're recharging yourself. You're creating a foundation to your own well-being, and you're balancing the body, and you're balancing the mind, and connecting the body, mind, and spirit with the breathing. Mm-hmm. And we can't really control the life, but we can kind of create and use these tools, as I call meditation. It's a tool to practice mindfulness, and we can create the balance in the middle of the chaos. So it becomes so much easier when we recognize the emotions and recognize the what is causing the stress. Right. And meditation and breathing is very powerful technique to create and gain positive benefits to our life, and it's like bringing like amazing physical and mental benefits and creating more happiness and positive feelings, and it calms down the stress and anxiety. And breathing is a very powerful tool for practicing being aware of us, of our being, our existence.
Yeah, it's and basic human functions.
yeah, because it's like when we see what's happening in our lives, we're all busy all the time, and we need that kind of tool to compensate all that busyness. And meditation and mindfulness, mindful living are that kind of tools that we really need.
Yeah.
Even though it's not externally, it's in us. It's a matter of it's a conscious choice of being aware.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to also, as you were talking about, how a lot of us being in that autopilot, that's essentially allowing our subconscious mind to run the show, and we're not really conscious and aware of thoughts and decisions that we're making at that moment. A good friend of mine, spelled it out really clearly to me. He's like, if you're having symptoms of depression, you're living in the past. If you're having symptoms of anxiety, you're living in the future. And so we can understand that, and it totally makes sense. It's a very broad sense. But when we're really very conscious of every moment, like right now in the present moment, right this second, what am I thinking and feeling, and what's going on, and am I safe, and you know what I mean? You can really shift a lot of those more negative, depressive, anxiety-ridden type feelings and really be like, yes, I am safe right now, and I do have a choice to be happy, and I do have a choice to feel grateful, and because you're consciously making those choices as opposed to not being conscious and aware. And that's really where a lot of these negative emotions tend to hide. So I think that is so cool. And like you said, meditation is one great tool to help us recognize what the present moment looks like.
Yeah, and it's kind of as I said, it's kind of a recharging practice. So it's like you're loading yourself with the good feelings and by being present, because it's really, to be honest, it's really difficult to be present all the time, and that's not even necessary, because our mind is natural thing. It's very human to look into the future, what's happening, and do plans, and understand what happened in the past and let go of that, and then take these mindful breaks. And when you practice mindfulness and meditation, you can really enjoy more of the present moment, be more present to your loved ones, and at work, and do one task at the time and enjoy that.
That's so true. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because we're not looking for perfection here of every single second of your waking moments you're mindful and present, right? That's not reality.
No,
and that's
no,
really, we're not Buddhist monks, just meditating for hours every day. We have lives, we're busy, we have a lot of distractions in our life. However, despite that, there are still moments and opportunities to get present and to get mindful. And I think if we just look for more of those opportunities, we can incorporate more mindfulness into our lifestyle. But it doesn't have to be all or nothing, because that's not realistic.
Yeah. And, we have so many beautiful things in this life. We have to enjoy all that, do nice things and enjoy all the pleasures we have. But when you practice being present, if you have lost the skill, I think we all should practice a little bit meditation and mindfulness every day, because it makes more. You can create more in your life, and you can really feel the contentment. And, when I was looking for my purpose and the meaning of life, that was my big question. And later I realized, like, the meaning of life is to enjoy this moment.
Right.
And make ourselves happy in this moment, because that's the reality.
Yeah, that's so true. So, this is, and I know that what you do with your meditation practice and your mindful living practice, you're able to infuse that in the work that you do as a life coach. Can you please explain to our audience a little bit about what that is? Like, what do you do as a coach, and how do you help people?
Yeah, I do. I do have a private practice here in New York, and I meet my clients online. So I have clients in Europe and in Finland, and all over the world. And that's what I love in life coaching, because you can really connect with people without limits. And I'm a life coach, and I'm a transformational coach, and change is my core thing, being present and helping people to make those changes that they crave. And we all do have a personal desire, so there's no one alike. So there's always something special in every one of us. So that's how I really see people, and that's how I want to help people to find their special skills and their special talents, how they can create the best out of their own life. And my coaching is kind of a mindset coaching. So I help people to connect with their emotions and recognize their inner world and see what they really want and need to change in their own life. And it could be their habits. Quite often we have to change some habits, like old habits and patterns that we don't even see existing, that are limiting us from getting forward towards our goals and desires. And I do a lot about like mindset coaching. So I help people to recognize their thoughts and see like if it's serving them, or if it's not serving them, we start changing the thoughts, like positive ones, because they kind of create our reality from our thoughts and our mindsets and from our patterns, and all that can be reprogrammed. Because along the way, we all have had like different kind of experiences, and we have become kind of protecting ourselves from keeping us safe, as you mentioned, Laura, and we can lose the connection with these skills and the real dreams that we have probably had, like when we were kids or even grown up. They do the work that they don't really like, and they live the life that they don't really like. And I help people to change that. It depends of course, like people have different kind of goals, but I help people to change their life and achieve what they really want and live more mindfully every day. And quite often my clients, they want to start meditation and writing practice and find their creativity and, have with their authentic desires. And, these kind of things I do. I really love seeing people kind of flourish and thrive, like when I start working with them. So it's an amazing work. I'm so grateful to be able to do that work.
Yeah, it's really rewarding. I know that you get a lot out of it by being able to witness people creating those shifts within themselves, because even as a coach, you can't make people do the work. You can't make people change, right? People have to want to change, and they have to be willing to do the work, and you're there to guide them. And also, I think a lot of what's valuable with hiring a coach is the accountability. So as they're sharing with you what their thoughts, desires, and hopes are, and you're able to give them some objective perspective on that, there's still, I'm sure, homework that they have to do before your next call. And if they don't do that, then you're going to hold them accountable. And it's great. Yeah. I think we all can benefit from having an accountability partner to help keep us on track. And also recognizing as we're moving forward and taking action in an area, if there seems to be a lot of resistance, and then you can speak to someone else to get a perspective about what's going on with that resistance, it may mean that you're a little bit off track, and then just with a very small shift, getting back on track can make a big difference as opposed to just continuing to beat your head against the wall, for example.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. That is so true because that's how we create change. It's like quite often people don't have people who are listening and seeing themselves and helping them to understand like what is going on in the inner world. And as you said, like there's a lot of like resistance and barriers inside us that we're not even aware of. And a coach helps with that, like recognizing those limiting beliefs and helping people to get over of those beliefs and move forward. So
it's so true.
Yeah.
So I think I think everyone can benefit from having a coach, and that's what's great is we just get that, I've had a coach that I've worked with for years, and they just help me in every area of my life. And we focus on business growth and development, but I know that my personal life, because you can't separate the two, what's going on with me personally is also benefiting from the coaching and goes hand in hand with my professional life. So, it's wonderful that, that you do this work, and, I'm really excited for our listeners to know that you do offer these life coaching sessions, and you can work with people, living anywhere through phone, Skype, and other ways of connecting, email.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing how you can really create a connection with the person like you don't even necessarily see? So it's a great how you can really create a rapport, and you can work as a team with the coach. And it's wonderful. It's so wonderful when you just get to talk about your own life and your things and thoughts, and nobody's judging you, but listening to you and helping you to understand a little bit more about yourself. So I think that's the beauty of
and also
coaching.
Doing it from a place. I think what's cool, this as opposed to, let's say, a spouse or a family member, that you might be sharing some of these deep, intimate, feelings, emotions with, is that's not always a subjective perspective, right? When there's people, loved ones in our life that are seeing a struggle, it might be hard for them to really be objective, and that's what a coach has to offer is they have an objective perspective that's going to differ from a loved one's perspective, and I think allow a little more clarity. Not that other perspectives aren't valuable, but the objective is hugely helpful when getting a bigger picture of what's going on, and therefore what to do to resolve it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to shift gears and get really focused on the mindful parenting piece, because that's what we wanted to focus on today. So I was hoping you can share some information about what mindful parenting means to you and 5 simple steps that a parent can practice mindfulness.
Well, I was thinking about this a little bit, and first of all, it's taking, the first one is take breathing breaks during the day, make space for it. And it's kind of a habit that needs to be created consciously, because when you start doing your meditation practice or your breathing practice or being present practice, however you want to call that. So it's not necessarily meditation, it's about conscious breathing and being present to yourself. And I always suggest for people and for parents that they take some time off and put that in their schedule. Some people are waking up a little bit earlier, 10 minutes earlier than their kids are, or all the other family members are waking up. And I have this 5-5-5 kind of a rule for meditation. So 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes during the day when it gets stressful or you just need a break for yourself, and 5 minutes before you go to bed. So that's a great way to practice, and you can basically take these 5 minutes any time of the day. So it doesn't mean that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. which is great. If you wake up and you can't sleep, you can take your 5 minutes then, and then you sleep better. But 5 minutes, and put the timer on, and you can even sit in the car, or you can sit on the couch or chair, or you can sit on the floor on the pillow and just breathe for 5 minutes. And you can do this like when kids are napping or in the middle of the day. Take quiet moments and be in silence. And that's like a scientifically proven way to like embrace our own being and feel happier and do this kind of cleansing in the middle of the day. Like leave all the crap behind and recharge yourself with the breathing and taking a little breathing break. So that's the first one. Take breathing breaks during the day and use the alarm and just let yourself be and breathe. The other one is actually what you can practice with your kids. It's like a wonderful practice, and it's like practicing gratitude or listing positive things every day. And practicing gratitude or listing positive things is a good way to see how much wonderful things we have in our lives every day. There's so many things that we can be grateful for. And it could be that even the sun is shining. It could be that you have something happens in the morning, or it could be that you feel great and you really embrace that. And it's like you kind of train your mind to think more positive with this exercise. And you naturally replace those negative feelings, stressful feelings with the positive ones. And when you start doing this kind of a exercise every day, you will start noticing that your thinking, your thoughts will change. And I think this is a great exercise with the kids. Like you can really help your kids to be mindful as well and see and embrace all those beautiful things every day. Whatever, it could be anything, what happens during the day. And my friend told me that they have this beautiful gratitude exercise every day. They sit in the table before the dinner, and they all the family members are saying like 5 things from their day that they have enjoyed and really be happy about. So that's a beautiful, beautiful exercise.
Gratitude practice.
Yeah, and it's really like when you practice in gratitude, you can start seeing more, but you can start attracting more of amazing things in your life. That's the kind of a law of the universe. Journaling and observing your thoughts and habits and getting rid of that emotional funk and, negative thoughts and mind chatter. And journaling, if you're at all open to writing, I strongly recommend this exercise. It's like getting it all out. You can even speak it out loud. You're like, when you're driving and when you're in the car alone or in the mornings, if you don't like writing, just speak out what you feel. Say whatever you're feeling. If you're angry, just let it go. Let it go and speak about it, write about it. Nobody's reading it, nobody's hearing it. And this is a great way to let go of stressful things from your mind, stressful thoughts, and especially that anger. We all sometimes angry, and especially when parents are very busy with the kids and there's all the time something to do. And many parents are feeling that they don't have me time, they don't have their own time at all. Let it out, because then you don't explode to your kids. So take responsibility of your own feelings and let it out and journal about it, or observe your thoughts and habits and let go of all that negative chatter from your mind. And it's like please don't judge yourself, because it's all okay. We all have that kind of thoughts in our minds, and it's all very human. So when you are being aware what is happening and when you say these things aloud, it's almost funny, because usually it's like so nonsense that your mind is just creating this chaos in your head. And that's pure mindfulness. Like when you see and listen to yourself thinking something negative or being very stressed out, that's a mindful moment because then you're aware, and that's a win because then you understand, okay, something's happening in my mind, and that's a great thing. That's a thing to celebrate because you are aware and present to your own being, and then you can make a shift.
That's so true. I think that's such a good, valid point you just made, that mindfulness might be being aware of a negative thought that you're fixated on. And but not being aware of that is just going to allow it to perpetuate. So if you're feeling in a funk, it's taking that moment to breathe and reflect and be like, what's going on? Why do I feel this way? You know, why did that person's comment piss me off, or my child's comment piss me off? Why am I reacting to this situation in such a angry, negative state? And, you know, what was a trigger there? Like, it's just really important to be like, why am I being triggered? What does that mean? And it's not that, okay, it's not feeling, like you said, shameful that you were triggered and perhaps reacted negatively. It's just taking a moment to recognize, why did that happen? And then next time you can make a different choice. But
absolutely,
we can't make a different choice if we're not aware of our previous choices.
Absolutely, and that's exactly how it is. It's so wonderful, like because then you stop repeating the old patterns and behaviors when you are being aware, like what happened today. So quite often I hear like parents are blaming themselves of yelling at their kids or being angry at them, and they feel sorry about it, and but we have to kind of embrace these kind of mistakes because they help us to see like what we don't want to repeat in the future, and that is like creating change. So well, the next one is probably like it's related to the same thing, like when the stressful moment comes and something happens during the day, or a kid is having a tantrum or something, stop to breathe and take a break and observe what is happening. As you just said, Laura, like just see what's happening in your mind. Where it's coming from? Like, why you're so angry, and see and try to solve with your kids why they are angry, what's happening in them. Help them to understand their emotions and help them to understand what makes them angry. Because then nobody's angry just because they want to be angry. There's always something causing it. And when we are helping kids to understand their inner world, when we are being able to understand our own inner world, it's so much easier to help kids to understand like their emotions and feelings, why they feel hurt. If there's no like a clear thing, what is explaining it. So this kind of I would say like a mindfulness is a great way to parents to kind of grow personally, but help the kids as well to recognize their own emotions and being more mindful as well, because the kids are going through a lot as well. There's chaos, there's distractions, there's all kind of devices, all kind of things happening all the time around them. So they can get lost as well. And when people are helping their kids to understand their emotions and helping them to talk about those emotions and what is causing it, it's creating better connection with the kids. And they feel that they are heard and seen. And that's what we all want. Like, we need to be heard and seen.
Right.
And actually the last one is like being present and spend time with your kids every day, like 30 minutes or an hour, and just without any distractions, no TV, no devices, no noise, and something that you do or play with your kid, and just creating this, embracing this amazing connection with them, and feeling love and being there for them, because quite often parents are doing something all the time and kids are there, but the connection is missing. It's like in relationships sometimes, like connection is missing when we are not consciously being aware and present to our our family and loved ones. So spend time with your kids every day, just a little bit, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, even an hour, and play with them, be for them, be present for them. And when you can be present to yourself, you can be present for the kids too. So it's like that's the benefit of mindfulness and meditation practice.
Right. You're, first of all, by having that practice with your children, you're teaching them mindfulness, which I think is such a valuable skill to learn as a child. And you're creating that habit of mindful living by setting that time aside every day to spend with your kids without distractions, because even like checking our cell phone, right, for texts and emails really preoccupy us and move us away. But if you choose to put that phone away and fully commit your attention to your child, then it's actually going to bolster your meditation mindfulness practice, and they learn from that example. So, because kids can get sucked up into technology nowadays as well.
Absolutely.
I see it all the time. And if mommy and daddy give that example of, there's 1 hour every day that we get together as a family, and everything, although the technology is turned off for that period, the world's not going to explode, right? Like, everything's going to continue on, but we get to connect to each other as a family at a deeper, more intimate level. And I think that's just so valuable, especially with older children, teenagers that can be really even more wrapped up into technology.
Yeah, that's so totally true.
Yeah, definitely.
And, when we are being present, it's... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, ahead.
No, I just said, when we are, spending more time with the kids and we become happier because then we feel like we're doing the right thing, and being a kid parent, that creates happiness, and kids are happier too, so everybody benefits. And that's the perfect mindfulness practice, if we even need to call that as a mindfulness practice. It's a way of being present and, way of spending time with the loved ones. And that's precious time.
Exactly. It's really great for the whole family. It's great for the parent-child relationship. It's certainly great for the intimate relationship between the parents, right, the mom and dad. And then it's just going to trickle out, when you see a family getting into that habit of practicing mindfulness with each other, it's going to trickle out to all of the extensions of their life. Their coworkers, their extended family, their friends are going to see that shift and the energy of the person, and it speaks volumes, and people do notice that. They're like, oh, this person used to be kind of a little bit more harried, a little more distracted, and now, other people around in your life are going to notice your presence with them, and it's because a lot of us don't receive that. It really feels so wonderful when you're speaking to somebody that you can feel that they have 100% of their attention on you, and they're not, being distracted, right? So I think that it's just really such a great example that we can teach our children. We can actually teach those around us as well, and adults that this is how I want to be treated, and this feels good, and so therefore I want to reciprocate that as well. So it can really make a huge impact in your community. Yeah,
it's a ripple effect.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to just wrap up this interview. If have you share maybe some upcoming events that you have, and then how people can reach you.
Well, so next week on November 26th, I'm of course
October.
At your October. I'm going to speak at your mindful parenting event, and it's going to be wonderful. I'm teaching mindfulness meditation to parents, and they can really experience beautiful meditation that they can start practicing on their own. I'm giving a tips and tricks how to kind of be present and practice mindfulness every day, and not using many hours per day for that practice, but how to bring mindful living to be part of your day. So this is very valuable information for all the parents. And then my next talk is actually about mindfulness meditation for creative people, and that's going to happen in New York Media Center, and that's going to be on November 1st here in New York. And something else I haven't even told you, Laura, about, it's like I'm soon starting my 6-week mindful living program, and that's going to be like really transformational, intimate journey to a small group of people. And this program is happening online, and I'm going to be coaching people to help them to really see what's happening in their life, what they want to change, what kind of desires they have, and how can they start taking the first steps towards these desires. So this is a program I'll be thinking about like a couple of years, and I'm so excited to start that soon. And, of course, there will be new workshops in New York and online. I'm having a Meditation Monday every Monday on my Facebook page, and that's a live free meditation class every Monday at noon EST. So my Facebook page is facebook.com/GladJenni, and you can just join these classes by signing up on Facebook every Monday at noon. And if you want to have a free mindfulness meditation audio, you can sign up for my newsletter on my webpage, and that's jenniglad.com. And you will get the details, all these upcoming events as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So all this information should be at your website. And once again, it's jenniglad.com. And Jenni spells her name with a J because she's from Finland. So it's JenniGlad.com. You can go to her website. And also people can reach you via email through your website as well. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love to get email. I love to get questions, and, I love to talk about people with coaching, and if there's anything I can help with, so please connect. So,
Wonderful. So I'm very excited about this, and to have you in Hoboken next Wednesday night for October 26th on Mindful Parenting Topic Live. And, if you have any feedback or questions for Jenni, shoot her an email or shoot me an email at info@hobokenchiro.com, and we can help connect, because I just think it's important to keep this conversation going and to let parents know that this is an option for them. And it really can be so valuable for really the whole family to learn how to experience a mindful living practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jenni, thanks again for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. I enjoyed our conversation, and it's always great to talk about it.
Yes.
Thank you.